Imagine a tiny bacteria found in yogurt that ended up sparking a revolution worth billions. Gene editing isn't science fiction anymore, it's changing medicine as we know it. Stick around because I'm going to break down how gene editing went from a lab experiment to a booming industry, plus what it means for investors like you looking to catch the next big wave. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments, have you heard of gene editing before? What's your take on this biotech boom? I'm curious to see what you think. So, here's the thing. This whole biotech boom didn't start on Wall Street. It actually started with some tiny bacteria. Back in 2012, scientists stumbled upon this weird little defense system inside yogurt bacteria, something called CRISPR. At first, nobody really knew what it meant. But fast forward a few years, and CRISPR turned out to be this crazy powerful tool that lets us edit genes, basically like fixing a typo in your DNA. That means diseases like sickle cell anemia or some types of cancer could actually be cured, not just treated. And suddenly, these tiny biotech startups went from under-the-radar science projects to billion-dollar companies. For the longest time, biotech was kind of the Wild West, mostly for scientists and big investors who could afford to take big risks. Gene editing was even riskier. The science was exciting, sure, but clinical trials took forever and cost a fortune. Lots of promising treatments never made it past the lab, so most regular investors just stayed away. Then, around 2020, everything changed. COVID-19 showed the world what biotech could do, like how quickly vaccines were made. Suddenly, investors saw that gene editing wasn't just science fiction, it was the real deal. Big money started flowing in, and even everyday investors jumped on board thanks to social media hype and breakthrough news. Plus, the FDA began fast-tracking these treatments, speeding up approvals and making it less scary to invest. And now, biotech stocks are some of the hottest and most unpredictable on Wall Street. CRISPR Therapeutics is kind of the rock star of gene editing right now. In 2021, they hit a major milestone, actually treating patients with sickle cell disease by editing their own cells. This wasn't just some lab experiment, it was real people getting better. When the FDA gave the thumbs up, their stock shot up, like, over 80% in a few months. But it hasn't been a smooth ride. The stock goes up and down a lot. If you bought in at the peak, you probably felt the sting of some big drops. Still, for folks who hung in there, the rewards have been pretty solid. This story isn't just about a cool new drug, it's about how groundbreaking science can turn into serious money, if you've got the patience for the ups and downs. Most gene editing treatments work by taking cells out of the body, fixing them in a lab, and then putting them back in. It's effective, but it's also complicated and expensive. Intellia Therapeutics is trying something different. They want to edit genes right inside the patient's body. If that works, it could make treatments way faster and cheaper, which means a lot more people could actually get them. Their early trials, especially for a rare disease called transthyretin amyloidosis, have shown some really promising results. Some patients got major improvements after just one treatment. It's a bit of a moonshot, but if Intellia pulls it off, it could change the game for medicine and biotech investing. Editas medicine is tackling something pretty powerful, restoring sight for people with inherited blindness. They're using gene editing to fix the tiny mistakes in DNA that cause these eye diseases. Early tests are showing real progress, with some patients actually regaining part of their vision. It's one of those moments where science isn't just cool, it's life-changing. And for investors, that mix of real-world impact and breakthrough tech makes Editas a company to watch. You probably know Moderna from their COVID-19 vaccine. It was a game changer. But now, they're aiming even higher. Moderna is using their mRNA tech to deliver gene editing tools directly into the body. Think of it like they started out selling one amazing product, then decided to build an entire product line around it. If this works, Moderna won't just fight viruses, they could change how we treat all kinds of genetic diseases. Big potential, and definitely one to keep an eye on. Now, this is where it gets interesting. In the last year and a half, over $50 billion has poured into biotech funds. Big pharma companies, hedge funds, even sovereign wealth funds are all racing to get in on gene editing. Why the rush? Because people are starting to realize gene editing might just be the next AI boom. But this time, it's backed by real science and clinical data. Wall Street's paying serious attention, and the competition to find the next big winner is heating up. The FDA used to be pretty slow and cautious with gene therapies, but lately they've introduced fast-track programs for rare and serious diseases. That means companies can get their treatments approved way faster, which lowers the risk for investors. This faster process favors companies that are willing to move quickly, and that could mean quicker wins in the market. If you're enjoying this deep dive into biotech investing, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell. Next week, we'll explore how Intellia quietly became a healthcare company. You definitely won't want to miss it. AI is speeding up the biotech revolution like nothing else. Take DeepMind's AlphaFold. It can predict protein shapes in hours instead of years. That means drug discovery moves faster, costs less, and gene editing gets more precise. AI and gene editing aren't rivals. They're teammates, working together to change medicine forever. Gene editing treatments can be life-changing, but man, they come with a hefty price tag. Some cost over $2 million per patient. That's a huge opportunity for companies, but also a big headache for insurers and governments trying to decide if it's worth paying. How this pricing battle plays out will be a huge factor in which companies come out on top. Gene editing isn't just about science. It brings up some pretty deep ethical questions. Where do we draw the line between curing diseases and designing babies? Editing embryos to fix serious genetic disorders sounds great, but when people start talking about changing traits like intelligence or looks, things get tricky. How society and regulators handle these questions will have a big impact on the future of this industry. So yeah, ethics isn't just philosophy here. It's a real business risk. Biotech stocks are wild rides. One day they're soaring, like Editas hitting almost $90 a share. The next, they can crash below $10. This kind of roller coaster is totally normal in biotech. Smart investors know it takes patience and timing. It's not about quick flips. Think of it as a marathon, not a sprint. Even with all the buzz, most gene editing treatments don't make it past clinical trials. A failed phase 3 trial can wipe billions off a company's value overnight. That's why doing your homework is super important. Investing on hype alone can lead to big losses. Understanding how trials work and keeping an eye on company pipelines is key to making smart moves here. Imagine dropping $10,000 into CRISPR Therapeutics back in 2018. It wasn't smooth sailing. The stock bounced up and down like a roller coaster. But for those who stuck it out through the ups and downs, the payoff has been pretty impressive. This story shows that investing in biotech takes patience and guts. It's not for everyone. But if you can hang on, the rewards can be huge. Gene editing isn't just shaking up healthcare, it's spilling into all kinds of industries. From farming that grows crops resistant to disease, to beauty products tailored to your genes, to curing rare diseases that seemed impossible before. This isn't just one market, it's a whole ecosystem full of trillion-dollar opportunities. The winners will be the ones who move fast, innovate, and don't put all their eggs in one basket. Biotech isn't just a trend, it's a huge shift that's here to stay. So, there you have it, the biotech boom and gene editing revolution unpacked. It's exciting, it's risky, and it could change everything about how we treat diseases and how investors make money. If you're thinking about jumping into this space, remember, do your research, be patient, and stay ready for the ups and downs. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future deep dives. Got questions or want me to cover another stock market case study? Drop a comment below. I read everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.